Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're diving into, you shared some excerpts from a German text, looks like prophecies, spiritual teachings, a figure named Jay Doot.
Yeah, it's a fascinating blend of like these grand prophecies.
Right.
With insights into, spiritual concepts.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack here.
Definitely.
So let's dive right in.
Let's do it.
The text mentions Jay Doot quite a bit. Who is this guy? What makes him so important in all this?
So the text predicts Jay Doot will emerge as like a messenger, but a messenger for Kal.
Okay.
And they describe Kal as this powerful but deceptive force.
Messenger for a deceptive force?
Yeah.
That's not ominous at all.
Yeah, a little ominous.
Yeah, so what else do we know about this Jay Doot?
So according to the prophecy, he's going to be born in the village of Kirkut to a family of shoemakers near a place called Bando Gar.
Okay.
It even mentions his son's name will be Garpat.
Wow.
It is specific, and he refers to himself as the origin. And the text also says that both him and his son will face, significant suffering.
Okay, so we got a prophecy here with some really specific details, birthplace, family. We even got his son's name, but it's this title, The Origin, that really piques my interest. What's the significance there, especially in the context of this whole prophecy thing?
Yeah, it's unclear if the origin is directly related to kind of existing spiritual concepts, or if it's something unique to, Jay Doot's whole deal.
Yeah.
Remember that the text really portrays him as this messenger for Kal, and Kal seems to be promoting a very particular worldview. So
okay, so potentially something totally new.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, what about this? It says here that Jay Doot is a left-handed Tantra follower.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I don't know about you, but that definitely raises some eyebrows.
Yeah, it's really crucial to approach this carefully.
Right.
Left-handed Tantra is often misunderstood and definitely misused. It involves rituals and practices that, frankly, can be misinterpreted pretty easily and even harmful when taken out of context.
So it sounds like maybe potentially a warning sign right off the bat here, maybe connecting left-handed Tantra with Kal, this deceptive nature.
It's possible. Remember, it highlights, the text does, Kal's ability to kind of manipulate people through their material desires and cravings. So maybe this left-handed Tantra is a red flag, and how he might go about spreading this message.
Yeah, so we have Jay Doot, potentially steeped in some controversial practices here, prophesied to emerge as Kal's messenger.
Right.
What's the big goal here? What's he going to do for Kal?
So the text indicates that his mission, his ultimate mission, is to, spread Kal's teachings.
Okay.
And this is where it gets even more interesting. It suggests that Kal has immense power, enough to actually influence people into believing Jay Doot's message, even if it's, built on deception.
So a calculated campaign to mislead people.
Sounds like it.
What kind of teachings is he going to use to do this?
So the text specifically states that Jay Doot is going to claim that Dharam has failed to recognize its true origin.
Okay.
And that he alone possesses the, quote, Ursprungs mantra.
Those are some loaded terms. Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, Dharam, first of all, is a very complex concept. It encompasses duty, righteousness, cosmic order. It's really more than a single definition can capture.
Yeah.
It seems like the text uses it very deliberately, though hinting at kind of a subversion of traditional spiritual understanding to fit Kal's agenda.
Okay, and Ursprung's mantra.
That one, the text actually doesn't define it.
Okay.
It could be a term, invented specifically for this prophecy, or it's a distorted interpretation of a real concept.
Yeah.
Notice how it's linked to this claim of possessing the true origin of Dharam. So that's, central to his teaching, I'd say. And by extension, Kal's plan.
Yeah, so we have this twisting of already established spiritual concepts, this Ursprung's mantra, as this ultimate truth.
Yeah, exactly.
This manipulation of language, belief,
Exactly. The text is highlighting the subtle ways in which Kal operates. It's using this language that sounds familiar, right? But twisting it to serve his own ends. This should encourage you to think critically about any spiritual teaching you come across, even if it initially seems appealing.
Yeah, for sure. It's about discernment. It's about looking beyond the surface, questioning what's really being said here.
Absolutely.
So Jay Doot's task is to spread Cal's teaching, which seemed designed to undermine traditional spiritual understanding.
Right.
But what actions is Cal going to take? How's this going to play out?
That's where we'll dive even deeper into the text next time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll explore those details of Cal's tactics and really uncover the true nature of his influence.
This is already a lot. This is a lot to think about. We'll be back soon to uncover more of this prophecy.
So last time we were talking about Jay Doot spreading Cal's teachings.
Yeah, those teachings designed to kind of twist, traditional spiritual concepts on their head.
Yeah.
So how does he actually deceive people? What are his tactics?
Well, the text says that Cal is spreading these, false teachings about fundamental ideas.
Okay.
Like the origin of the body.
Okay.
And the nature of karma.
Okay.
Even claims that he, misleads souls. Leading them away from their true path. Yeah.
So we're talking, straight up bad dude here.
It's pretty intense, yeah.
Does it give any concrete examples?
It does.
These teachings?
Yeah, one of the examples that it gives is this idea that the origin of the body is actually karma.
The origin of the body is karma. That's a new one.
Yeah.
I've never heard that one before.
That seems to be the strategy, right? Sowing seeds of doubt,
right?
By distorting these familiar spiritual concepts.
Right, yeah, taking something that you think you know and turning it on its head.
Yeah, and it doesn't, go into detail about how Jay Doot justifies this claim.
Okay.
But the implication is there.
Yeah.
That it's meant to, really undermine people's understanding of their own existence.
It's like he's trying to rewrite reality, make people question everything they thought they knew.
Totally, yeah.
And it goes on to talk about kind of manipulating this idea of karma further, right?
Yeah.
By saying that, Mom, this idea of, the key to spiritual liberation is actually found within karma.
Yeah, so instead of karma being this, law of cause and effect,
right,
it's more like this secret hiding place for numb.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so it's this manipulative tactic to trap people in this, cycle of karmic action, right?
Okay,
You have to do something to unlock this hidden name.
It's like that shortcut, that spiritual shortcut.
Totally, that everybody wants.
Exactly.
Yeah, instead of just doing the work.
Yeah, it's this illusion, but it's, it's a tempting one.
Right.
And the text gets even more specific because it describes this whole ritual that he establishes, Jay Doot.
Okay, I love a good ritual, so tell me more.
So this one, according to the text,
it
involves drinking water that's been infused with a specific mantra called the Wurzel mantra.
Wurzel mantra. Is that at all similar to
it could be
the Ursprungs mantra?
That's a good point. The text isn't super clear about the connection.
Okay.
But Wurzel means root in German, so it could suggest this connection. Yeah. It's the root of his teachings.
Right, the root of all this.
Right, exactly. Which are rooted in Cal.
Right, and knowing what we know about Cal, this is not a good thing.
Right, exactly.
So what's wrong with this Wurzel mantra? Why is this bad? Well, it describes it as the quote root of hell.
The root of hell. Yeah. They really went there.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Not subtle at all.
Not subtle.
So we've got these teachings, right? This blend of really kind of out there concepts about the body, about karma.
Right.
And then we have this potentially harmful ritual.
Right. It seems like it's this multifaceted strategy, right?
Right.
That appeals to our intellect.
Yeah.
And then also our desire for some sort of tangible spiritual thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So it really highlights how, insidious Cal's influence is.
Yeah.
Because it's it can target people on all these different levels.
Okay.
And it makes it seem like even if you, consider yourself, spiritually aware,
right,
that you could still be susceptible to this.
Yeah. And that's really scary because then where do you turn,
Right.
Well, I mean, the text also emphasizes the word of recognition.
It does.
And the power of name. So maybe there's some answers there.
Right. Because it's even as it's unveiling all of this deception,
right,
it's still reminding you that, true spiritual liberation is still a thing.
Yeah.
But it's only through a real connection with the divine.
So how do we reconcile those two things?
Yeah.
How do we know
that's the big
the difference between this deception?
Yeah. How do we know what's real?
And the real deal?
Yeah. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
I can't wait.
We'll dive into that.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. It'll be good.
So we're back. Last time we were talking about how to tell the difference between, real spiritual guidance and this like deceptive stuff.
Right, exactly. And we left off with this idea of blackness.
Yeah. God, blackness. That's kind of a loaded term,
Yeah, it's a central theme in this text, and it's definitely presented as something to watch out for. It's like this metaphor, right, for a type of spiritual corruption.
Right.
This dimming of your inner light.
Okay, so how does that happen? How do we become black according to this?
So the text actually outlines two specific ways that this can happen.
Okay, let's hear it.
The first one is by accepting a lower position in exchange for material gain.
Okay, so like kind of selling out a little bit.
Yeah, imagine like someone who compromises their values for worldly rewards, right? So maybe they betray a friend or,
Yeah, turn a blind eye to something they know is wrong.
Exactly. Or abandon a cause that they believe in.
Right.
All for, money or status or power.
Right, yeah.
That's that classic kind of...
I like a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the text suggests that these actions, like these compromises, they create a kind of spiritual stain, right? This blackness that kind of builds up inside.
So each time you do it, it gets a little bit worse?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because, you brought up the deal with the devil thing.
Right.
It plays on those desires, right?
For sure.
For comfort and security.
Yeah.
But those desires, when they come at the expense of our values, that's when they lead to this stagnation.
Right, because you're doing the wrong thing.
Right,
yeah.
And that eats away at you.
Exactly.
So that's one way.
Okay.
The other way the text talks about is being misled by, this is a mouthful, an avatar of the Almighty who has strayed from the true path.
Okay, so we're talking about people who present themselves as like spiritual authorities.
Yes.
But they're leading people down the wrong path.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's really tricky because they may even believe.
Right, they believe they're doing the right thing.
Right, exactly, that they're guiding people towards the light,
but they're not.
But they're not. Yeah.
Man, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
So this word of recognition that we've touched on, that seems like it's more important than ever.
It really is.
But if Cal is like actively trying to like mess us up, how do we avoid falling into these traps? Like, how do we even know where to start?
Well, the text, it really emphasizes, like over and over again, the importance of direct experience.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means cultivating a really deep personal connection with the divine.
Okay. So not just going through the motions.
No, not at all. It's not enough to just like, follow rituals or accept teachings without really like
thinking for yourself.
Exactly. Thinking for yourself.
So we have to develop our own like internal.
Yeah. Your inner compass.
Yeah.
And the text actually suggests that intuition, that inner compass, it gets stronger through practices like meditation.
Okay.
Quieting the mind.
Right.
Creating space.
So you can actually hear what's going on in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not about like, blindly following these external authorities.
Yeah. Gurus,
gurus.
Yeah, just you and the divine.
Exactly.
This has been a lot.
It has.
But it's been good.
It's been good. It's been really thought-provoking.
So for our listeners out there, what are some like key things to remember?
Well, I think, the biggest takeaway for me is this idea of discernment, right?
Right. Don't just take anyone's word for it.
Exactly. Like, question everything.
Yeah.
Really think for yourself and remember that true spiritual authority, it doesn't come from like...
Right, like robes and books.
Yeah, titles or positions. It comes from within.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's a lot of work.
It is. It's an ongoing process. It requires effort. It requires self-reflection.
But, even if it's hard, at least there's hope.
Oh, absolutely.
That we can, like, figure this out for ourselves.
Even amidst all the darkness, the light is always there.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive.
This has been great.
This has been awesome, as always. Thank you to everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time.